Want to welcome you to Phil Holton's wood turning shop. We've been happy that you've been able to visit us now and again. And what we're doing today, we're looking at what I do with some of the leftover pieces of burl, pretty extraordinary pieces that we can get, but some of them are certainly too small for bowls. So I like to make what I call a weed pot. And it uses a small piece. I pick out really, really nice stuff. And then here in this hole in the top, it's going to have dried flowers or weeds, greens, evergreens at Christmas time perhaps, but it means you can put all sorts of interesting stuff in there. So the way I do that is find my scraps out of a piece like this, out of a big burl. When I take my pieces out for bowls, then off at the corner there might be some pieces, small pieces like this that I'm going to take. And I drill a hole in the top so that I can put them on my screw center. So that's what this is over here. And so I'm going to screw that on. It will hold quite a lot as I'm turning this weed pot. And they tend to be kind of craggy pieces, but they're probably not perfect in any way, but they're very highly figured, beautiful stuff. And so they work out nicely. Okay, so then I'm going to start turning. So if you've seen wood turning before, you know that what we're doing, we're carving on the wood as it's spinning in the lathe. So here I've got this quite irregular piece. It's held between centers, but it is actually a faceplate piece. So the grain is such that I'm cutting uphill, and it means I need to be using a bowl gouge. So these first cuts are going to be a little rough, and then they'll definitely smooth down as I get a little further in. I teach people how to do this on the lathe as well, and I get a lot of pleasure. For 30 years I've been bringing people to my shop to learn how to turn, and a lot of them are doing some really fine work out there. I'm also very grateful because I couldn't do the work that I do without people that find me the good stuff. So see, we're getting a little more rounded. We've got a little ways to go here. I can move my tool rest in a little closer. We'll pick up the speed now that it's a little better balanced. See, it's not bouncing me around quite so much. I'm going to try to give it a nice shape. Finally, nice figure and color is nice, but without a nice shape, it's kind of wasted. We'll try to give it a real nice shape here. I like to make a shape, probably has a bit of a bottle shape, so that I'm going to make a little thinner neck up here. This is a shape that I've kind of called my own, and I'm kind of proud to have a shape. So when people look at it, they say, oh, that's a Phil Holton weed pot. So it's nice to be mature enough craftsmen that you have kind of a recognizable style. Okay, so I'm moving to smaller chips now. Try to get a nice finish on here. I'm almost round. I may leave a little flat here and there just so I don't have to make it too much smaller. We'll go a little bit smaller here. I use several grinds on my bowl gouges. This is called the Ellsworth grind that has quite a bit of it's swept back quite a ways, and it has several different surfaces that do several things. if I was turning here by myself, I would be wearing my mask. This is a pretty dry piece. It's a little more fun if they're a little greener, because this is pretty dusty. Okay, and I'm gonna make a pretty small neck here, because I think it looks nice to have that contrast of kind of rough and smooth. And okay, let's see how this is developing. Quite nice. I love this kind of rough. That's the outside of the burl that's going to show. And we're doing just fine. I'm going to switch to this tool that's going to let me do some shear scraping on here. Do a little shear scraping to... This is something that you want to be very, very careful of. That point could do some pretty serious damage here. So we want to be very cautious. Okay. And well, I'm not sure where my other one is here. We'll get by with this. I'll do some shear scraping with the side of the gouge here. That can work too. We'll come out here and smooth that out. Okay, so we're getting pretty close to our final shape. Now what I'm going to do, it's supported from that end, so I'm going to back this off. It's supported now just from that end, and I'm going to drill a hole down the middle so that it can hold a flower or something like that. And the way we do that is quite simple. We mount a chuck. Some of you that might have a drill press might actually have a number 2 Morse taper up into the drill press. But that fits right into my tailstock. I bring that right over here. And then I'm just going to drill this a little bit at a time into the end of here. I want to make sure that that wood is still coming out. This is fairly dry, so it's not doing too badly. I would like to drill that out pretty much that full depth of that drill. See, it's plugging up a little bit now. It gets a little hot. I'm going to use that to get that out of there, and we'll finish our... Okay. I'm just going to pull this down now out of the way. And I'm going to show you how I do my sanding. I'm not going to do too much of it because it gets a little dusty in here. But what I do here, I've got different grits of sandpaper, and they are 3-inch discs. This is the way I do my bowls, lots of different things. And I'm going to start with the 150 grit. This is actually on a little bit of a bayonet, so that and I'm going to sand first. I got a couple places that are flat that I did not. I could turn on my I don't have my dust collector set up, but usually I have my dust collector to do this. And my mask. This is the way I'm going to do my sanding. And then I probably would even do I'm going to reverse this now, do it the other direction, so I can get at every surface. Okay, so I'll do a little more sanding than that, but you get the idea. And now I'm going to, I'm sure I'm going to get that out of there. Because I want you to see what this profile is going to look like when it's all done. So there's the weed pot to put my dried flowers in. It'll have a nice finish, so it'll show up nicely. but one of the favorite things that I make, and I love that I can use scrap burl to make it. Thanks so much for coming to Phil Holton's wood turning shop. It was great to have you here with me today.